everyone, welcome to the Peace and Love podcast. If you are watching on video, you get to see the special guest that comes in and out of the podcast. My little cat is joining if you are just listening. So hopefully he doesn't cause too much of a ruckus during this podcast, but he's wanting to give you some extra love. So everybody say hi. He's sending you that good vibe. So let's jump right in. Today, I wanted to help you align with this vision that I think you might have. Imagine yourself going to a big event in your city, and you walk in the room, everyone's heads turn, and you just feel like your most confident, outgoing self. Even if no one did notice, you still feel incredible. You are just going up, seeing friends, seeing people you haven't seen in a long time, seeing guys that you think are attractive, maybe girls that you think are attractive, and you're not even batting an eye because you just feel like you have tapped into your it factor. You're feeling like the it girl. And so today I wanted to hone in on some it girl energy so that you can start showing up to these places and seeing people feeling like that confident version of yourself. Literally every woman has confidence, magnetism, that it factor within her, simply because she is. Like, it's our birthright to have that. If you're listening to this, you definitely have it. So it's all about bringing forth those characteristics and feeling safe being seen as that it girl, being safe being seen as that person and in general. So today we're going to tap into our it girl factor. And if you are wanting to fully align with that, like, let's tap into it. It all starts internal, right? Anything external happens from an internal shift. So the more that we do internal shifts, the outside cannot help but change. It would be like changing the internals of your car and like being shocked if it's running better, or even for the worse. I mean, if you cut the wrong wire in your car, it might not run right until you fix it. So noticing, okay, our internal world is literally connected to our external world. So that is an important thing to remind yourself over and over and over again. And I say that at the beginning to say most people, most women, approach everything in life from ass backwards, like literally from the outside in. This is how I'm going to affect change in my reality. I'm going to get a better wardrobe. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to wear a different type of makeup. And then that'll change something for me. If I do my eye makeup in this certain way, it's going to make a big difference. If I lose a little bit of body fat, if my body looks a little bit different, then I think I could get love. If I tried on this different outfit, I think then I would get approval. And when I say it like that, maybe you can see, oh, well, that doesn't make that much sense. But it's kind of the way that we are ingrained. We think that, okay, if these certain shifts happen, then I'll finally have the love. And if you're someone who, takes it far to make changes, and you end up you do make those changes, you shift your wardrobe, you're doing different things with your makeup, maybe you even lost weight. A lot of times people get dissatisfied because they see, oh my gosh, like I did everything and nothing really changed for me. And so I just want you, instead of becoming hopeless from that situation and thinking, there's no way that I'll ever feel good, know that literally you feeling good has to do with your internal state. And so when you come with feel good energy, you'll start attracting those things that you wanted. Instead of needing it even, you're going to be it and you're going to attract it. So let's jump right in. And if you're sitting there like, oh, Siva, I've tried everything. How do I know that this is going to work? Well, you're coming with a doubter's mindset. And anytime you're having a doubting mindset, it's because you've placed your beliefs on things that were not true in the past and placed your beliefs on falsehood. And so this is going to not be about what are the things that we're doing to get attention? What are the things that we are saying or wearing, or this is all about aligning with truth, the truth of who you are and what you need to be in order to affect change in your life. And so part of that is, well, Siva, who are you to talk about this? And aside from that doubting mindset, which will block any of your progress, if you come to everything asking, how is this going to work? You're not going to see much change in your life because you're looking for why it won't work. You're training your brain. Look for the reasons and the ways that we can say that this isn't true, this isn't going to work. Which, if you know me, I say the quality of your life is based on the quality of your questions. So a better question would be, how can we make this work? How can I start showing up as that it girl? How can it be true? So I invite you to flip that mindset a little bit if you are coming at that. But it is valid. Siva, what's your credentials? I don't necessarily take advice from people who I don't want their life, or I can't, see the exact results. So here's what I will tell you from my experience. One of my favorite things that people say to me is, Siva, how do you know everybody? Siva, how do you have so much charisma? You seem very charismatic. You do well on LinkedIn. That was a funny one the other day. Siva, she'll just talk to anybody. We like having her around because she'll talk to anybody, do anything. And hearing that stuff is funny because it just is feedback that the outside world notices how I feel. But the real freedom is this. The other week I went to a fashion event in my city. In the past, I would have been stressed. Okay, what do I wear? It's like literally a fashion event. Who's going to be there? All of these people, like, they might be judging me. And I just showed up and I had a good time. When you have your value placed on things that are not linked to who you are, your inherent worth, you will always feel inadequate. If you have your value linked to your weight, if you gain or fluctuate weight, you'll feel inadequate. If you have your value linked to your money, if something changes with your money, you won't feel good. If someone comes along with more money than you, you're all of a sudden no longer good. If you have your value linked to how you look, even when someone comes that has maybe a little bit of a different figure than you, all of a sudden you're insecure. What you put your value onto yourself has to be something that is timeless. It is non-physical, and it is something that is within you that can never be taken away. Until your value is placed on a solid foundation like that, it can be gone in an instant, or it can just never really feel satisfying. So what I'm really conveying to you here is that the biggest flex, the biggest contribution that this brings to my life is nothing from the outside. It's no comment from a friend. It's no result of having a date. It's no result of having incredible friends. I love all these things. I love having friends that I deeply connect with. I love going on dates with incredible quality men. Like, look at me smile if you're watching. You can see I love this stuff. I live for it. But what I live for even more is the freedom that I feel. When I can go somewhere and just freaking breathe, I used to not be that way. I literally, going to the store was a challenge. Going to shop for clothing was a challenge. Now being able to go out in public, breathe, not even have a thought in my mind about how do I look? Is someone judging me? Am I worse compared to someone? Am I better compared to somebody? Having that emotional freedom where you can just walk around and do what you want to do. Oh my goodness. There's no constraints anymore. There's no, okay, I want to go over there to this restaurant, but I don't know if I would really fit in. The other day I was literally on a run, and I had never been into this like luxury bowling alley we have here. Like I definitely didn't fit the ambiance. I was in Athletica, I was sweaty and running around. I've run into the building and I'm like, and they're like, can we help you? Are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I just wanted to see what was going on in there. And they're like, oh, okay, yeah. And they, show me around and all this good stuff. And that was something that I wouldn't have been able to do in the past. I've been out with people. Oh my gosh, we can't go to coffee here. It's really nice. And we're in Athletica. We're sweaty. The freedom that having your value on something that is not physical gives you is immense. It doesn't stop you from doing the things that you want to do. You see somebody that you think is attractive, well, let's go talk to them. That's obviously what you do next when you feel value within yourself. You just follow what feels good. And when you aren't feeling your value, you can never follow what feels good. Every day, it is like you are fighting with yourself. I really want to go here, but I don't feel like I can do it because this, that, and the third. I'll settle for this. I really want this, but I'm afraid to speak up and ask, so I'll really just settle for this. I really want this type of thing, but I don't think I could get it because, this reason, that reason, I don't have enough, I'm not it. And every single day, when you live like this, your life ends up being a settlement. It ends up being every part of your day, every part of your life is something that you decided to settle for. The partner that you ended up was, okay, I don't know if I can really get better. The clothes you wear, I'm afraid to kind of branch out. This is what I've always worn. The food that you get, they fucked up my order. This is good enough. I don't really want to say anything. The friends that you get, subpar. I mean, yeah, they're not great, but that's kind of rude to just cut them off. And so when you're not clear about who you are, what your worth is, and what you really want to do with that worth and with your power, now that you understand your power, you're going to end up with random life. Roll the dice, let's see what we get. And nobody wants that. Nobody wants to end up with an experience that they feel like they just kind of settled on. And furthermore, other people don't deserve that. It's a disservice to your friends and your family and your relationships if you are showing up to your relationship unhappy with it, yet you won't do anything about it. Imagine someone was dating you and they really feel like they want better, they could do better, but they haven't asked for it from you and they don't have the courage to leave you. I mean, what the fuck? So you're really hurting literally everybody in the situation by not knowing your power and knowing what that power grants you in this life. So we're going to step into how you can start to feel this worth, how you can get kind of clear on what you want and where to go from here. So the first way that you can start being this it girl energy, living this it girl life, is by realizing that you are different. You are different. Your body is different. Your income is different. Your mindset is different. Your lifestyle is different. You are different. This is not a bad thing, and this isn't even a good thing. When people have lived a life of shame and anxiety, they notice that they're different and they go, this is a bad thing. I'm different from everybody. I don't have the body that she has. I don't have the money the success that she has. I don't have the looks that she has. I'm different. It's bad. But then maybe you start realizing you want to feel better. And so what people normally do is they go, okay, I'm different. I realize that. I do have things that are different. That must be a really good thing. I must be really good. I have this that she doesn't have. I have that she doesn't have. But making a change in that direction can seem like a improvement, but it's really the same side, a different side of the same coin. When you subscribe to that belief of being different is either good or bad, you're subscribing to the belief that one person can be better than another person in general. And when you live that way, you're not seeing your own divinity and you're not seeing others' divinity. The truth is, I talked about the truth, the real truth is that we are all children of the Most High. If you don't believe in God, that's fine, but you are still a part of the universe. You are still a part of this experience. We are all born valuable. No one baby is born that has more worth. I mean, this is not a religious thing. No one baby is automatically born, this one's worthy. Okay, next one. Skip. This one's worthy. That one's worthy. I think we'll pass on this one. You see what I'm saying? That's ridiculous. We are all have the same amount of inherent worth. And so playing that game of, okay, I'm different, this is either a good thing or a bad thing, this whole mindset is false. So what we need to understand is we are different. This isn't a bad thing. This isn't a good thing. It just is. When you fully understand this concept, and you live it, you get freedom because you're no longer comparing yourself to Susie Q from high school. My cat jumped back in to share the time with us. So when you are able to let go of comparison, you're not competing anymore. There's absolutely nothing to compete with. Imagine like a pro runner competing with a professional pianist. Like this doesn't even make sense. Like, how could you possibly even judge that? That's ridiculous. Imagine a goldfish competing with a bird. Who's the better animal? Like, that doesn't even make sense. You literally cannot compete where you do not compare. And this is not in a prideful way. I just addressed pride. This isn't in a prideful way of, oh, you can't compete where you can't compare because I can't even compare. This is like, you genuinely cannot compare. Like, every single person is born in a completely unique scenario. Every single person is born into a unique set of circumstances with a unique body, with a unique mindset and different personality. I mean, everyone has different gifts that they inherently have. And even if two people were born to the same parents in the same household, and even if they were twins, they would have a different experience of life. If you've ever met twins, you know this is true. They have different personalities. They've had different struggles in life, even though they probably went to the same schools. So as soon as you get out of that mindset of comparing and then putting a good or bad label on it, you can just step into everything is. Like, my body is how it is. Her body is how it is. Her account, her business, it is how it is. And so there's really just nothing to even compare about it. If you wanted to, maybe you could look at it for, okay, this is possible. I know that it's possible because if she did it, I could do it, because every single person is born with the same amount of work. Maybe if you wanted to, you could take it to the place of, okay, she did it, so I could do it too. I mean, we're both born 100% worthy. We both come from the same source, even though we probably grew up different. But if it's possible for her, it's definitely possible for me. And taking things and using it like that is good, but also using that too much can be detrimental too. I mean, everybody is literally on their own path. And what will work for someone else isn't going to work for you, because you are a unique individual on your own path. So you have to tap into your own inner wisdom before you just give away your power and decision making to see what works for another person, how they did it, how they're successful, and getting back into what feels good for you. So letting go of comparison by realizing you're different can be the number one way that you can show up to the room and feel confident how you are. When I'm walking around, I'm not seeing this beautiful girl and thinking, oh my gosh, the guys here, they won't even notice me or look at me. I mean, she's here. I'm like looking at her. Wow, if I notice it, wow, she's beautiful. And honestly, I'm probably not going to think about it again. But if it came to, like, you know, a situation like that, it's like, well, guys might like her because she's her, but guys might like me because I'm me. And so it doesn't even make sense to compare, because you just have to know yourself so well and be so focused on your own self, your own growth, your own magnetism, your own just journey, not in a prideful or arrogant way, but in a way that you're just immersed, that you're not even focusing on it. Like, have you ever heard the quote? It's like, be so focused on watering your own garden that you don't even notice how green someone else's is. This isn't saying be so focused on convincing everyone that your garden is beautiful that you don't notice how green someone else's is, or be so focused on, you know, getting materials to see if you can make your garden green like that other person's, that you don't notice how green their yard is. No, this is like literally be so immersed in your garden that every day you're just like looking at your stuff, doing what's in front of you, watering what needs to be watered, and, you know, tending to all these little details. You're so immersed in it. You're not even a thought of someone else's thing is not even on your mind. You won't even have the span to think of that because you're so immersed in loving what is right in front of you. So you get what I'm saying with the difference there? We're not doing all of this to prove our worth to somebody, but to be immersed in our own experience. We're never doing something to prove our worth or be worthy, but to be immersed and enjoy our own experience. And that is true personal development, baby. That is true personal development, baby. And that leads us perfectly into the next point. Babe, you literally don't have to be anything. You literally do not have to do anything. Let me be so fucking clear. No amount of inner work, no amount of money, no amount of status, no amount of clothing, no amount of anything can add to your worth, make you more valuable of a woman. We already addressed that. We already addressed you are worthy just because you are. Because you were born with inherent worth, just like everyone else on the planet. You are worthy. So therefore, nothing can really add to that. You're not living your life trying to make yourself a more worthy person so that somebody someday will notice you. You have this mindset shift. It's radical. It's a radical mindset shift of, okay, I need to do all these things so that I can be good someday. To, I am already good. I'm doing all of these things to improve my experience of life. And like I said, that was a good transfer because literally personal development, it's not to prove to them that you are worthy, but to enhance your own experience. And so now that you know, okay, nothing can be added to my experience, but also nothing can be taken away if that person doesn't respond to you, if that person isn't really feeling you, if you lose your job, if you lose money, if you walk into the room, nobody freaking notices you, if you get called ugly, if your partner that you thought was your soulmate leaves, you're not going to lose your value. You are still the same woman. You are still the same worth. So nothing can be added or taken away. And it is so important to remember both of these things. Nothing can be added to your worth, but also nothing can be taken away. I've told you I'm a magnetic person. I'm a charismatic person. That doesn't mean I don't get myself in situations where I get rejected. The other day, I approached this guy. I go, hey, how are you? Or I think he said, how are you? I'm like, I'm good. I'm like, how are you? He's like, I'm good. And he walked away, like, immediately. I was like, oh, so, okay. Okay. But obviously you can't take that personal. Like, we don't know what's going on with him. It could be that he has a boyfriend. I mean, a girlfriend. He could have a girlfriend or a boyfriend. He has a partner already. It could be he wasn't interested in me. It could be he didn't think I was attractive. It could be that he was so nervous because he did think I was attractive. It could be that he doesn't really have social skills. It could be he didn't want to socialize with me. Like, we literally do not know. And so, like, even spending time when that happens, worrying about, well, why did it happen? It's nonsensical because you don't know. You're not them. And my point here is to say, you can't let an experience like that or an experience that feels hard just kind of slow down your momentum or take away from you. One thing that happened last week that got to me even more, like that incident was like jarring, but one thing that got to me more was a guy called me annoying. And obviously when things like that happen, it has way more to do with them than you. But it's really a sign of misalignment. After that, our connection ended. I mean, obviously, we're not an alignment. And I'm really only available for connections that raise me up and lift me up as a woman. And, you know, those are 2 incidences out of hundreds because I put myself out there so much. And 9 times out of 10, you're going to attract men that, oh my goodness, if you love yourself, you're going to attract the men that support you mentally, physically, emotionally, financially. Like, literally anything that you can think of to make the date or your life easier, they will do it because they want to do anything to put a smile on your face. And they'll tell you you're amazing, you're a queen, you're a goddess, you're a princess. This is all things that men have said to me. But a man last week said that I was annoying. And so you have to notice, like, there's going to be a group of people who you are not a match with, right? And so that's never going to change. You're always going to be polarizing to somebody. And if you're not, we have bigger problems. And that's for a different episode, being polarizing. But the more that if you're putting yourself out there a lot because you're walking into more rooms and you're feeling more confident, as you learn your worth, you'll be putting yourself out there, and it increases the likelihood that you will get rejected. It increases the likelihood that you will be put in a situation that hurts your feelings. I cried when that guy said that. And it wasn't because I was upset it didn't work out with him. It just had touched on something that was there to heal. And when those moments come up, you are grateful that they came up. It was so funny. I was literally in the car crying about this on the way to have a date with a man who rented out this, like, do you know those things are like igloos? They're like plastic igloos. He rented one of those out at a restaurant for 2 hours. It seats 8 people. He rented it out for me and him, and he bought us brunch in there. And we just hung out, had a fantastic time. Like, he planned that whole thing. He came up with the idea. He made sure I was warm in there. He made sure I had, like, good food, good drink. Like, the point I'm getting at this is you cannot let one thing like that feel like it leads from your worth. When the truth is, who you are attracting, it's because they're in alignment with you, right? And so someone calling you names and someone just not really vibing with you, most of the time it doesn't really have anything to do with you being wrong or not doing or saying the right thing. Like, sometimes things are just not a match. And so you have to understand that when that happens, it doesn't take anything away from your worth that one person didn't get it. You're never immune from people not getting you. Like, even when you are an it girl, people will not get it. If you are someone that comes into a room and gets a lot of attention and knows a lot of people and is very loving, some people will see that, and it brings up a lot within them, and they have to process that. And so you have to know that when these things happen, like, it doesn't have anything to do with your worth when someone doesn't get it. Especially if you're living right, if you're a polarizing person, people will see you, immediately love you, but people will see you, experience you, and immediately hate you. And so again, it's more of that. When you put yourself out there and you get a little bit more confidence, the likelihood goes up that something will happen that really touches you. But when you know that it has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with your worth, even if somebody abused you, it wouldn't make you less worthy, then it's less scary that, okay, I'll get rejected, because it literally has nothing to do with your actual worth. If one person doesn't get it, there are people that really, really will. So don't spend your time even thinking about the people who don't get it. And literally, imagine if I had that experience of someone calling me annoying, and I allowed myself to cry because I wanted to process it, of course. But imagine if I had taken that energy and taken it to the date with me, with the man that actually did show up for me and did plan all these things and did all of this work to put a smile on my face. Imagine if I had taken that sorry, nobody likes me energy to hang out with him. He would think that, like, there was not a match for some reason. He would not have had a good time. And then it would attract even more of that into my life. His nervous system would go, something is wrong here. She's not right. She's not feeling good, and I'm not feeling good because of it. And, you would keep attracting stuff like that. So when shit like that happens, because it will, and the amount that it will happen increases the more confident you get, contrary to popular belief. But, it's just a game. So when that stuff comes up, maintain your attention on your worth. The more confidence you're getting, the more you are getting out there, the more you're going to get rejected and have scenarios that feel uncomfortable. And that is good because you're getting to process that. Anytime someone brings up something that really bothers you, you get to heal it, you get to love it, literally, sit with it, not necessarily just push it away, right? We don't want to do that. We get to love that part of ourselves that did feel annoying. And I guarantee you, if another man called me annoying, it wouldn't hit the same way that it hit that time, because I already sat with that version of myself that does feel annoying, and I loved on it and realized my value within that. So regardless if you do get accepted, rejected, you do feel better than, you do feel worse than, you do get more clothes, you do get less clothes, you get more attention, less attention, it doesn't change anything. You cannot add to your worth and you cannot subtract from your worth. Your worth is inherent. Your worth is, there's nothing you can do about it. Ha ha, you're worthy. There's nothing you can do about it. So that is my whole entire point. And you can start to relax your nervous system into that belief, and you will feel a whole lot safer in the world because of it. That goes back to that feeling able to do whatever the fuck you want to do. When you aren't afraid to get rejected, be told no, or be seen as bad or good, you'll be able to do what you want to do and ask for what you want to ask for. Okay, I'm going to ask for exactly this at the restaurant, even though it's not on the menu. The worst they could say is no. The worst they could do is be annoyed. So it's all about, what do you want to do? Who do you want to be? And knowing you can relax into that because you understand your worth is inherent. Moving on, hopefully I beat that one in enough. This is honestly helpful too for the situation of getting rejected and other things. So here it is. Humanize everyone. And I usually mean this in the sense of, don't be afraid to talk to people because they're human, but also humanize the people that reject you. Literally every single person on this planet is doing their best. If the best that person can possibly do at that moment is call you a bitch and a stupid idiot, like that might be their personal best. And so you have to maintain composure because you understand, even if they're having a moment, for whatever reason, they're grown, but this is their personal best. You don't have to sit around and hang out if you don't like somebody's personal best, but giving everybody grace because they are doing their best. And this also goes the other way, like I was explaining. Humanize everyone. That person that you think is smoking hot and you're afraid to go talk to them, they are a human. They eat. Something that you can remember if you're feeling intimidated by someone is they shit. They are a human. They wake up with bad breath. They have probably fallen on ice before. They have probably made a mistake. They've probably cheated. They've probably done all of the things that that you've done too. And so when you block yourself from talking to somebody because you think that they're too good, that is literally almost idolatry. No one deserves to be put so high on a pedestal that you can't even look their way. You can't even go over there. They're just too damn good. And when you act like that, when you know that you want to go talk to somebody, but you're afraid because you think they're too good, it lowers your self-esteem every single time that you don't follow through with it. Every single time that you see someone that you know that you want to go talk to, or you know that you want their number and you don't even try, you are subconsciously telling yourself, I'm not even going to try because I know I'm not good enough. I'm not even going to look their way because I'm so, fill in the blank, that they won't even care. And so when you start healing this mindset and when you start feeling your worth, it automatically becomes easier approaching people that you think are out of this world or really cool, because it's like, well, they're the same as me. And not in the way of comparison, but they're a human just like me, right? They're a baby that's just as worthy as me. So, like, they're not a baby, but like with the baby example, you know what I mean? All babies are worthy. Put that on a shirt. All babies are worthy. So they're just as worthy as me. They're just as human as me. And this can help you and be healing in all instances of life. When people fuck up and make mistakes, forgive them. They are a human. When people seem really great and really fantastic, they are just a human. And noticing that can really ground you in your own humility and help you be responsible when you do have magnetism, because there's a responsibility that comes with that. There is a lot of energy exchange and a lot of attention that you get when you know your worth and when you know your power and when you know who the fuck you are. And so you have to be responsible with that too. And knowing that you are just a human and that you are, you know, in this human experience, at least on the same playing field as everybody else, keeps you with a good head on your shoulders, keeps you from being a megalomaniac and making decisions that you'll regret later, and also, helps you forgive more. That guy that called me annoying, he's just a human doing his human thing. Like, we don't really know why he said that. It's like that quote from the Bible. Forgive me for calling it forgive me for calling it a quote, because I don't know the exact Psalms or proverb, but it's like, forgive them because they don't know what they are doing. It's like a couple things that the scriptures say. And forgive us like we forgive others, or forgive others so we can be forgiven. Like, literally, you have to put yourself in other people's shoes and say, of course I'll forgive them for that, because I'm sure there's things that I've said out of weakness, out of feeling really small, that I can't take back, that really hurt other people. And so it is megalomaniac to think I'm this person that of pure blah blah blah, that I've never made a mistake, and so I have a right to be angry when someone said something mean. It's like, I have definitely said some mean things in my life. So please, I'm forgiving them, so hopefully I can be forgiven for those slip-ups. And, even if I'm never forgiven, it feels good to have that awareness of, hey, like, you are human and I can see you for that. This seems unrelated, but it will help you with your value by seeing things in this way and by noticing how people are human. Because when you can put the person that really hurt you and the person that you think is incredible and everyone else in between in the same playing field as you, life becomes very simple, and you notice the value and the beauty of everything. And most importantly, you are relaxed. This attitude, this mindset, is exactly how you will show up into the room feeling relaxed, feeling like that it girl, feeling like you have your ish together, even if it's technically isn't, and you'll just feel like your best, most confident self, no matter what chaos is ensuing around you, because from the inside out, you've got it. You're valuable. You're worthy. Everything's gonna be okay, because that's the nature of my experience of life. So a lot of what I do with my clients, my Limitless Love one-on-one program, is literally building up this internal worth, changing that self-concept, changing your identity so that you can experience these changes from the inside out. Like, literally, I already told you this, but when you make these changes on the inside, the external changes become easier. Like, it is so much easier to approach someone that you think is drop dead, like, sexy, when you already feel worthy on the inside, because you're subconsciously not fighting with all of these beliefs. Oh, I'm not good enough. I don't make enough money. I'm not strong enough. I'm not smart enough. Like, none of that is there. And so you are literally free to do whatever you want to do. And so if you want to dive into doing the internal work, simply so that you can feel good in your own skin, you can feel good within your experience, and by causality, you will start attracting all of these amazing things in your life. You'll start attracting deep connecting friendships that feel natural, that people that are your number one fan, you're their number one fan, and people that raise you up, you raise each other up, you will start attracting romantic partners that plan amazing dates for you, fun dates, speak life onto you, tell you you are a goddess, you are a queen, you're so special. I've never met anybody else like you. This is the best date I've ever been on. All things that have really been said to me. If you want to start showing up and getting those results, and really, at the end of the day, coming home, going to your bed, and feeling like this is just such a privilege to be with myself. I feel so in love just being with myself. There's no one else I'd rather hang out with. There's no one else I'd rather spend time with. I love being in my own presence. It's so relaxing. When you get to that level, then all of these external things happen. And if you're ready to get to that level and feel that way about yourself, find my Instagram, find my TikTok, click the link in my bio, or reach out and comment or DM love, and let's start your personal love revolution. These changes might seem like a lot. It might seem like a lot to think, oh, you're saying that I can approach guys I think are actually attractive, guys that I actually want to date, not just ones that I'm not that interested, so it's safe to attract them. You're saying I could do that? That seems so far off. Yes, I'm saying you could do that, and I'm saying also that it's not that far off. When you make these changes, it changes who you are, it changes your reality, it changes your identity. And so it might seem like that's something so fucking hard, you cannot do it. But a different version of you doesn't see it that way. And what we are doing together is literally changing who you are. So when you are that different person, the things that used to bother you, the things that used to seem like a lot of pressure and really scary, not so much anymore. You've changed who you are. You've changed who you are being. And now you can handle the pressure of this new reality with ease because you're someone else. So anyways, I could talk to you all day about how close you are to this new experience. But at the end of the day, it starts with the question, like, who do you want to be? And once you know who you want to be, there's going to be nothing from stopping you saying, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to do now, and signing up with me or just doing whatever the fuck it takes to get you to that next level, be that warrior goddess, that high priestess that you are, because that's just who you are. That's just who you are. So make that decision for yourself today. And, you know, if I can help in some way, so be it. I would love to work with you. All my socials are at sivassoul. Click the link in my bio. And if this podcast was helpful to you, comment and leave a review. I really appreciate all the reviews and all of the feedback that I've gotten from these podcasts. So thank you so much for showing up. Like, comment, subscribe if you're on the YouTube. But anyways, I love you and I'll catch you next week. Bye, goddess. Ah.